indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you guys turn on your mics.
And thank you for the reminder. Oh. Okay, roll call. Do we have Director Coleman online?
Online.
Wonderful. Director Morgan?
Here.
Director Ballantyne?
Here.
Director Allred?
Here.
And Director Barney is here. We've got all 5 of us. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the agenda as presented, say aye.
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 I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, roll call vote because we have somebody not here. Director Coleman, how do you vote?
Aye.
Director Morgan?
Aye.
Director Ballantyne? Director Allred?
Aye.
And Director Barney is aye.
Thank you.
Agenda is approved. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, community announcements, public comments for items not on the agenda.
I have one, Madam President. I was just speaking to President. I'm so sorry, I'm a little bit jumbled today. I was speaking to Diane about this the other day, but with the runway reopening, some of the airports that I used to work at, we would have either a member of the airport or the board or somebody take off and land on the new runway. It's symbolic more than anything, but it's also a gesture to draw some community involvement. If that's something that would strike this board, I'd say let's get together and talk about it, because maybe all 3 of you on aircraft, bless you, can do a formation flight or whatever you guys want to do. But I encourage the board to consider it.
It'd be a lot of fun to do formation takeoff.
I think Chuck, because then he can test the
surface,
the intersection of the 2 runways.
Sure it's
You don't have that hump where it crosses 30. Is that correct, or am I mistaken?
Well, I mean, there's
That's
always
the whole idea.
No, that was a sarcastic comment. Sorry. What's the proposed date that such an activity would take place? Are we talking about?
We're looking at July 1st is when they're scheduled to reopen the runway.
Okay. Because I got July 3rd on my calendar, so it's going to be 2 days soon then?
It looks like, and I get cautious when saying this, but it looks like it could be completing 2 days early.
I'll be in Mojave that day, and actually given some instruction that day, so I can work it in if the flying. So
That'd be a lot of fun to do an early morning first thing, open it up, like have the extra go down. I don't know, Bob, how's your Tiger doing?
It's going to be down for a bit.
Oh, nuts.
Thanks.
Mine's just got a new ignition harness on.
yeah.
Well, if we had Chuck going and the 2 of us could go.
Well, and then a long easy would be kind of a rattan,
Very nice.
I got how many? Everybody's got, a couple planes to pick from, But okay. No, I'd be up for that.
Yeah, if you get the canard out and lead the way, that'd be fun to do a little elephant walk where you go and then I could go, Bob, you get your hands on something, or who knows, make an invite and anybody else can join in line. Well, thanks for bringing that up, Tim.
Sure.
Also good news that looks like might be 2 days out.
Fingers crossed.
Any other community announcements? Anything else coming up anybody wants to talk about? No? Okay. All right. Nobody online? Okay. On to the items for the consent agenda. So we have 3. So minutes as expected, and then 2 check registers. Did anybody want to discuss?
I had a question on the check register, and I think I know the answer. The $5,000 to Bakersfield, California?
That was for the legal ads for.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah,
okay.
for taxiway.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I do look at those.
Yeah. Yes. The prices of legal ads went up considerably, so everything went up.
It's just to advertise. Advertising is expensive.
Anything anybody wants to discuss? Do you hear a motion?
Motion to approve A, B, and C check registers.
Second.
Roll call vote. Director Coleman?
Aye.
Director Morgan?
Aye.
Director Ballantyne?
Aye.
Director Allred?
Aye.
Director Barney is aye. Consent agenda items have passed. Action items. First item we have is Voyager Aircraft LLC lease assignment to Bruce Evans. Tim, are you going to talk about that?
Yeah, Madam President, members of the board. First of all, I'm just going to warn you guys, I got my eyes dilated right before this meeting, so I'm having a hard time seeing and reading. So just bear with me on this,
I was
okay?
wondering what was going on.
Well, I got to do this. It's the craziest
I
thing.
got to do mine here.
Oh, good luck. But what this is about basically is that Bruce Evans is currently leasing the hangar with Voyager Aircraft LLC. Voyager Aircraft LLC has 15-year ground lease with the airport with 3 5-year options renewal for Hangar 939. And the lease expires January 31st, 2045. What Voyager is asking you to do is to sell Hangar 939 to Bruce Evans, and who is currently the sublet of that hangar. And then the hangar would just along with the original lease would revert back to MASP at the end of the life of the lease. So with this, I recommend approval of assignment and authorization for 939 to be executed by the CEO and reviewed by the attorney.
Scott, is that in line with what we've been doing? Yeah.
Any points of discussion from any members of the public?
I propose we transfer the lease to Bruce Evans.
Okay. Roll call vote if there's no more discussion. Right, Director Coleman,
Aye.
Director Morgan,
Aye.
Director Valentine,
All right.
Director Allred,
Aye.
and Director Friday aye. Item B, 23-24 budget.
Yes, good afternoon. This is that time of year again towards going over the budget. Just wanted to kind of go over some of the cash reserve designations. The FAA projects that we're currently working on that we budgeted for this upcoming year is to finish up Taxiway Charlie, and then 1230 should also be finished up, and then we're working on Taxiway A lighting. They have a meeting with the FAA tomorrow, which will have more concrete information as far as how much the FAA will give us for Taxiway Alpha. So as of right now, we've kind of just budgeted, that some monies towards that project, but once we have that meeting tomorrow, we'll have more of a definite answer. And then in cash reserves on infrastructure, we did budget items such as the GA hangar site prep, asphalt improvements, gate improvements, property investments. We did budget we are purchasing Pontius's hangar at the end of this year that we've already had the contract for. So it'll be that, and then also just had some in case some land comes up around the airport. Building improvements, replacing roofs, and then also GA improvements, including doors, gutters, and then also as they vacate, we're kind of redoing several things inside of them. HVAC replacements, AC units are slowly starting to go out in buildings, so we've budgeted for one, so as it comes up. Fire suppression improvements, equipment for maintenance, and then computers. And then also the employee benefits we've been doing each year, and that's just budgeting to bring down our unfunded liability for the benefit side of the retirement. And then the two new positions that we're requesting for this year is an admin assistant and contracts, which we currently have Sylvia that's just working as a temporary employee. So we're hoping in the new year to be able to bring her on as a permanent employee. And then also an additional operations specialist. In this budget has a cost of living increase of 5% for employees, just based on what we've been seeing in this last year.
The operations specialist.
There's one position that we didn't fill this year for budgeting purposes that will come open at the beginning of the fiscal year.
And what do they do?
Oh, that's when I was talking about converting from the security department to an operations department.
Yeah. Okay, because it was ringing a bell, but
So it's in that department. Since it's going to be July
my
1,
brain got dilated.
we're trying to hire into the new positions so
Yeah.
they have those qualifications to start. So we're just asking to approve the resolution for fiscal year 23-24 budget as presented.
So the 5% increase for cost of living, is that commensurate with what inflation has been the last year?
Yes, on CPIs. I kind of based it off of CPIs for kind of in between. It's kind of an average between Kern County, LA County. They're real close right now. Actually, Kern County recently has been higher than LA County.
This is a budget, though. That'll come to the board for approval.
No, this will be on July 1st, the payroll into the new year.
I just want to clear.
Yeah.
That includes board members.
It does in January. Remember, in January you get your 5%.
Oh, okay. Oh, we got ours early. Or late.
Or late.
Yeah.
I'll move it. I'll second it.
Before we vote, any discussion, questions, members of the public?
Quick question for Mr. Coleman. Now we're adding 2 employees from the current staff. Is that what I'm interpreting?
Yes.
Okay. And then what's the employee count right now? Total employee count?
We're at 34.
And then what has it been the last few years or so? Has it kind of been in that area, or is it
Yes.
we increasing a lot of? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we've kind of been going anywhere from like 29 to probably 34. That's kind of been our number that we've been at.
Okay.
One is a title change, right? It's an existing employee.
The operations specialist, yeah.
Yeah, so we're not adding an employee there. We're just a new designation.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, the
there's
admin, yeah, the
one
admin
new
position
employee,
is
just for
is new.
Chuck.
Yeah.
Because I think he's looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do those numbers include like fire safety, crash rescue safety?
No, because they're all contracted.
But the previous average of 29 did include those.
As far as full-time, yeah, our fire department had 2 full-time associated with them.
Tower, any changes there as far as quantity?
No, not
Step
for the last
change,
like
okay.
3-4 years. I don't think we're making any changes. We've added a few part-timers this year, just so that way we can fill in some of the gaps.
Okay.
Any members of the public or other board members have any questions or comments before we vote? Okay, roll call vote. Director Coleman,
Aye.
Director Morgan,
All right.
Director Valentine,
All right.
Director Allred,
Aye.
and I from me. Okay, budget is done. Sorry I missed all the fun of that workshop.
What workshop?
Hey.
That's right.
It
What
didn't
workshop?
exist.
Yeah.
Somebody ruined the party. Thanks, Scott.
Sorry.
Hey, keep us out of jail.
trying to keep you out of jail.
All right, on to item C, taxiway Charlie.
Madam President, members of the board, our engineering service firm, Mead and Hunt, has a construction and administration contract for Taxiway Charlie project that we know that we had completed almost 2 years ago now. We are wrapping up the very end of that project, including some site surveying and some administrative costs. There has been an adjustment because of how long it's taken us to get to this point. There's been a little bit of inflation. So what this request is to approve of up to $107,885.50 of budgeted dollars for the amendment to the construction administration contract.
So this is above the original.
Right.
Well, that's some inflation.
Well, the original was August 4th of 2020, and it's not just inflation, it's the post-survey that I think is like 50,000
Yeah, I saw
of it.
that. Yeah, I saw that.
So let me ask, I mean, Charlie was 90% FAA funded and 10% airport. Is that of those similar lines, or is it all Mojave Airport for that money then? I mean, do we get any FAA support for additional budget for Charlie?
Yeah, at this time, I don't believe that will be money that we'll get back from the FAA. As we're wrapping it up, we'll see if we do have extra funds in there for like administration. But right now, we're just in the process of finishing it up with 927 and closing out the grant.
Okay, so I'm curious. I mean, that's the entire taxiway Charlie rebuild or resurface. And so was that neglected from the first time they did it, or what's the fundamentals of this 100-something thousand needed for Charlie?
My understanding is it is the post survey, and then also with 927, as far as it didn't originally get torn down when we bid it. They bid the project with 927 going down with the other hangars. So now that we have that hangar and we have to utilize, and they had to do additional paperwork for that.
Okay, I'm just seeing $100,000. That's a good employee salary in that is going to Charlie, which I thought was 90% funded. So,
Right.
It's all engineering services pretty much, right?
Yeah, it's through Mead and Hunt.
Might be covered if there's any money left.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything, did we need to approve the amendment, or is this just confirming the second amendment? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So do we hear a motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion. Well, we got to do it. First, if we want to get more money from FAA, I'm sure we can't leave these grants open.
Yeah, they'd like to see them closed up.
Okay, roll call vote. Director Coleman?
Aye.
Director Morgan?
Aye.
Dr. Valentine?
All right,
Director Allred?
Aye.
Director Barney's aye. And that does it for our action items. On to the reports. Tim, what else you got for us?
Well, I don't have a lot of crazy things to report on the reports, but runway 1230 rehabilitation, again, knocking on wood, things are going well so far. We did get through the intersection 826 with minimal problems. We currently have 422 closed right at the moment. The project is supposed to wrap up by July 1st, but we originally advertised July 3rd, so we're just going to say July 3rd for now, but there's a good chance it might end early, okay? We'll obviously be keeping everybody in the loop on that. We did touch on Taxway Alpha Electrical, just at rehabilitation. Just so you guys are aware, tomorrow we're meeting with the FAA to discuss what the costs are and find out what our liability will be for this. As you guys know, before, this is one of those shovel-ready projects that we're hopping in at the last minute to see if we can get the FAA to pay for, and they've agreed to do it. So we're just going to get the rest of the information tomorrow and find out what the total cost will be. The Inland Port, I checked in with them. Just so you guys are aware, they're still waiting for Caltrans to make their decision on the grant for inland ports. I asked, well, why does that matter? Why aren't you guys moving forward anyhow? And they said, well, it makes sense. If we have matching funds, then we can do a bigger project. So it's going to affect the scope of the project. So they are still working on it. They're just waiting on that one limiting factor. The water main system update. Mead and Hunt is working on the 90% submittal, and the final submittal is scheduled for the week of July 3rd. The water system hydraulic modeling, that Mead and Hunt is still working on that. They anticipate having a deliverable here soon. I apologize, I didn't put it in here though. The hangar development update, I'll be talking to you guys today about this. There's a proposal right now from a developer to construct all the hangars in that complex area that we need to discuss and see if that's something that we want to entertain and go down the road of. And finally, just updates on property rented. We have Gauntlet Aerospace, Hangar 77 for 2 years with options to renew. And I did include pictures in the report of the current runway project and some of the asphalt, just to show you the differences. Oops. Go ahead.
Well, excellent. Does anybody have any questions for Tim? Anybody online have questions for Tim? I got to ask all my questions earlier. No, okay. Well, thank you for your comprehensive report that nobody's questions on. We don't have any standing board committees. I don't see a need to create any. Let me know if it's disagreement. Nope. Okay. That's it for the reports then. Director comments for items not on the agenda. What you got? All right, it was a comprehensive meeting agenda as well. Fantastic. I think we're ready for closed session.
Okay, if you're interested in staying online, we'll put you in a waiting room.
we need the mics on for Chuck, right?
Yep.
Oh. Are these for me?
Yeah, those are things that
Oh, gosh. God, I'd smile for weeks.